All right, guys, welcome to Music Theory 101. We are starting from the very beginning, and we are going to go through everything that you need to know about music theory to finally understand it. From reading music and rhythms and understanding chords and harmonies and all of that, we're going to do a deep dive into it, but not so deep that it loses you. We don't need to get into atonal music and a whole bunch of other stuff that doesn't pertain to modern music, if you will. Not everybody wants to be a college professor, so we don't need that much music theory. We just need enough to be able to use it functionally. And that is what we're going to go through in this series. So first off, I do want to say that a lot of people have tried music theory before, and they tried to learn it, and for whatever reason, it didn't stick, or they didn't understand it. I think of it this way. Could you imagine being back in second grade and your teacher putting a bunch of sentences in front of you and saying, hey, let's parse in these sentences, or let's do sentence diagrams and let's really break this down and talk about the adjectives and the verbs and all this stuff that we actually don't know anything about in second grade? She would lose us. And I think that's what happened to a lot of us on our music theory journeys. I think that we started them before we were able to understand what was going on. This is my personal opinion. Music theory should be approached and learned after you have somewhat of a grasp on music. You should know something on some sort of instrument, or you should be able to sing or play something. You should already be in music before you start music theory. It's not something that hey, I want to learn music. Let me start music theory and then I'll learn an instrument. You should already be playing something. So that's the first thing. So this is not for the absolute beginner, because the things we're going to talk about would definitely lose you if there's not certain things that you already know. Also, music theory classes are generally taught based on piano, and that is what we're going to do here. Even in college, everybody in the College of Music was expected to do, I think it was 4 semesters of basic piano, so you understood the concepts, but everything in music theory is explained from the piano, so we will do the same thing here. With that, let's begin. Today we are looking at the treble clef, and that is going to be the clef for our higher instruments. For our purposes, we are going to be using the treble clef. Talking about piano, we'll be using that with our right hand. All right, so let's get started. The first thing I want to do is review the music alphabet, just so we're on the same page. This is the foundation of all of music theory. It is this simple. Watch. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There are no additional letters. There are 7 letters, and these letters are going to make up all of the music and everything that we talk about in Western music. I mean, there might be something else in other styles of music or whatever, not here in the United States, and not in modern music. In modern music, these 7 letters are what's going to make up our foundation and our framework. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. After that, we repeat A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then we repeat again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then we can draw this in here. Boom, 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 boom. That is it. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Yes? So next, we're going to talk about the staff. So this is the staff. We have 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. That is it. 5 lines and 4 spaces. Each line and space represent 1 note on the piano. So this bottom line is a note on the piano. The space is a note on the piano. The line is a note on the piano. The space is a note on the piano. And they go in succession. So the next thing we want to look at is a clef. And for our purposes in music theory, this is all I'll ever talk about. Treble clef and bass clef. Not talking about bass clef today. Today we are just looking at the treble clef, and that one looks like this. You don't need to know how to draw this. You just need to know that we are working with the treble clef. Hopefully this looks okay. Yeah, that'll do. Rusty at drawing these, but that is what the treble clef looks like. Now, back to our lines and spaces. 5 lines, 4 spaces. Say that with me. 5 lines, 4 spaces. This is super important. We have to get this. And I think this is where a lot of people got lost doing music theory. And if we don't get this, then you can't move forward. This is the most important thing that we will learn in music theory. And we're about to go through it right now. Here it is. The most important thing is this. 5 lines. My penmanship is terrible. Good. Boy. Does. Fine. E, good, G, boy, B, does, D, and fine. Those are our lines. For the lines, every good boy does fine. Line, every good boy does fine. Every good, just to go from the bottom to the top, boy does fine. One more time, if we're looking at a line, every good boy does fine. That's in treble clef. For this clef, which is the one we're talking about today, there are only 7 letters in the music alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We've already used 5 of them. We only have 2 more to put on here, and then we'll start repeating. Okay, now let's keep going. If we're looking at a space, then we use our face. If we're looking at a space, we use our face. F, A, C. I'm left-handed, so I'm trying not to have my hand on the thing. So if we're looking at a space, we use our face. Yep. So that'll be F, A, C, and E. If we're looking at a line, every good boy does fine. If we're looking at the space, we use our face, F-A-C-E. All right, so this E right here is going to be here. Then we've got G, then B, then D, and then F. So what's really important here is we're going up the alphabet. This is another thing that's really important. Here we go. We're just going up the alphabet, each line in space. We're not worried about sharps or flats. Right now, we're just assigning each letter of the alphabet to a line or a space. That's the important thing. So it doesn't necessarily translate to what you see on the piano down here. When we use sheet music, each note A, B, C, D, E, F, G needs to go on a space or a line. That's the most important thing. So E, F, G, then we repeat, right? A, B, C, D, E, F. F is the very last line. Let's go ahead and talk about this while we're here. There are these things called ledger lines, the lines that are above the staff. The staff is made up of 5 lines, 4 spaces, but we can also draw lines above and below the staff. So here we're going above. I know for me, I never even tried to learn what these were, had no idea how to figure those out. I would have to count up every time, but it's really not that tough. While we're at it, let's go below as well. And these should be straight lines, but you guys get the point. All right, every good boy does fine. This is where it gets super simple. It's every good boy does fine or face. Those are the only 2 things we need to know to figure out what notes are. That is it. In all of music theory ever, that is all we need to know. That's it. Every good boy does fine and face, period. Check this out. Every good boy does fine ends with an F. So do you see that we're skipping? So it went from a line to a line, line to a line, line to a line, line to a line. Here we went from space to a space, space to a space, space to a space. Once we get to the top, F is on a line, and this is going to be the beginning of face. So that F now turns into face. It'll be F-A-C-E. It'll just keep going up. But the F starts on a line, then this line is going to be A, then this line is going to be a C, and this line is going to be an E. What do you think would happen if we kept going up and I added more lines? It just repeats. Line there, line there, line there. We would never go this high. There's no need to ever go this high. But if we did, check this out. E. When we start with the E, what is our mnemonic that we say? Every, then it's a line. So we go to the next line, good. Go to the next line, boy. Go to the next line, does. And that is how that works. How about this? Face, the word face ends with what letter? It ends with an E. So what's the letter before E in the word face? A C. So now we're going backwards. We would do a C here on a line. E is on a line. C would be on a line. F-A-C-A and F. So F-A-C, then every good boy, that's B, does, F, then the line A, line C, line E, then every good boy. It just repeats over and over and over. And that is how that works. If we want to do it in blue, which I can do, let's say we started on spaces, F, A, C, then we do it here. Spaces now, every good boy does fine. Yeah. So the word before fine is does. So every good boy does. Good boy. So this is boy. Every good and every. These are all supposed to be spaces. I know it's not 100% perfect, but these are all spaces. These are our lines, and it just repeats over and over and over. And that is how you read music. We have to get comfortable with this. Super simple. If it's on a line, we start right here. Every good boy does fine. If it's on a space, we use our face. We start here, F-A-C-E. Once we get those, we can read as many ledger lines, which are the lines above and below the staff. We can read as many ledger lines as you want to because they just repeat over and over. Now, it's easier for sure to memorize once we get up to the top. Let's say we're at this E right here. Let me change colors just so you can see, and I'm about to clean up this whole iPad, but we're at the top right here. We're at E. Let's say we were trying to just jump and read a note right here. It would be much easier to just remember this stuff, but I might not remember that 1, 2 lines up and the line is above D. I might not remember that, but I remember the top line. So every good boy does fine. F-A-C-E and then D. I could do that, but it's just the same thing. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All right, let's do an exercise. I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds to look at it, and then we'll walk through the first of them together. This app is called Tenuto, T-E-N-U-T-O. All right, so what note is this? So it's treble clef, and this note is on a line. For the lines, we use every good boy does fine. What note is that? 3, 2, 1. Every good boy does. That's a D. Boom, got it right? Cool, let's do this one. This is on a line. For a line, we use every good boy does fine. The top line is F. Once we get to F, we start with face. F, then A, then C. F is on a line, A is on a line, C will be on a line. This is C. This is a space here. So for spaces, we use our face. F-A-C-E is the top space. Then we start every good boy does fine, and those will be on spaces. Every good boy B. Yeah? This one, line or space. There's no line through it, that's a space. For spaces, we use our face, and we can go this direction. So that's an F, and F is the end of every good boy does fine. So we've got fine, every good boy does there. And then before that is boy, B. This one is a space. If it's a space, we use our face, F-A-C-E. Then we start every good boy, it's a B. We'll do a few more. This is a space, we use our face, F-A. That is also a space. Then we start here at F, which is the end of every good boy does fine. If we're going backwards, we're going down, we want to go backwards. So fine, does, boy, B. Same thing, we've got another space, use our face, F-A-C-E. We start every good boy does. We'll do one more. F-A-C. All right, so I hope you got something out of the video today. Every good boy does fine and face. Please watch the video again if you're still a little shaky on it. These are the building blocks of all of music theory, so this has to be super, super solid. Please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. We'll be hitting the bass clef.